Good morning, everyone. Welcome. So good to be here with you. I have to tell you, I had a couple weeks away, but I was glad that I was here this weekend. I mean, did Humboldt County not do anything this weekend? Because everything was going on. Oh my goodness. So, we had Friday Night Market in Old Town. We had the Oyster Festival yesterday. It was the second weekend of open studios, where artists open their homes and their studios so we can see their process and their art, which is always so cool. And then last night was the celebration for Dwayne Flatmo. I know I saw Anna there. Yeah, it was so amazing. They named an alley in Eureka for him, the one that's right by the Arkley Center, where it has one of his huge murals and then some other murals across the street. And he brought his huge octopus sculpture that's like several stories tall that breathes and spits fire. Anyway, it was amazing. Yeah, so I have many videos on my phone if you missed out. The amazing thing about it was apparently it runs on 2 huge tanks of propane, and we were far back and we were hot every time that thing went off. So anyway, it was very much like a community, type of experience. And he was very excited to reconnect with so many people that he's known over the years, which was really cool. So anyway, I want to welcome everyone on Zoom. I want to welcome everyone in person. I want to congratulate you all for getting out, even though it's kind of a gloomy day, and being here together with all of us. We start every service with an acknowledgement of the native lands on which we gather. So I'm going to click this forward. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities throughout most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. Oh. So Donna is not with us today, but Bev has volunteered to lead our first song.
Oh, yeah. Get my notes here. All right. So you know how the song goes. We all know how this song goes. Help me out with this one. And we will do great. Okay? All right. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other
Yeah, we have a job for you. We're going to increase the number of songs, and Bev's going to do half. Don't tell Donna. Yeah.
Creep it up on Donna there.
Right? Yeah, wow. All right, so now it's time for our opening affirmation. I'd like to invite you to either say good morning or good morning sunshine at the end of this. We are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. I have to tell you, I know one of my jobs is to reel everybody in after that part, but it's so fun to watch you all having a good time seeing each other and greeting each other that it's really hard to do. You feel like you're putting the kibosh on something fun. So anyway, so here are the events that are happening both in person and on Zoom this week. So once again, we have a bunch going on. I want to highlight a couple things for you. On this Friday, we're going to have For Love of Writing in person with Lorna and Angelica. So please join us for that. It's in the morning, of course. Also, on Saturday, we're having Art with Louise from 10 to noon. And the topic this time is Let's Make a Sketchbook. And so anyway, she's going to guide us through that. No experience is needed, which I think is always good to say about art, right? And the cost is just a love offering. All right. So next Sunday is the Sharing Salon at Carol and James's house in Rio Del. There's a really informative flyer that's just as beautiful as this slide on the table, and a sign-up sheet if you would like to carpool. So anyway, I'm glad that we've made this a monthly activity. At the end of the month, we're going to have our next session of the men's support group. In the afternoon, and it's a thriving group. So anyway, if you haven't been, check it out. All right, so we have a new class coming in July, and I'm just going to dance because I have no musical ability at all. But Edward is offering a new class on July 19th, which I believe is a Sunday. Is that correct? Okay, yeah. At 1 p.m. after our gathering. And it's an introductory session into Music Made Simple, the Waples Way. Did I pronounce that correctly? You pronounced it close enough? Okay, all right. So anyway, if you've ever thought, I'm not musically inclined, but perhaps I would like to be, this is your opportunity. And Edward's a really kind person, so I'm sure he...
All the way from not knowing anything at all about music, all the way up to I've had students that are now in jazz bands.
Nice.
And you teach yourself. You don't need an instrument. You can actually practice everything I'm teaching you in your head so you can do it during the day. Nice. And I will give you some guts of some of the instruments. I play 12, so we can, work on some of that as well.
Nice. So Edward said no musical experience, no instrument is needed. And whether you have no experience or you're further down the road, this class is for you. So, what's that? Oh, there's a sign-up sheet over there too. Great. Thank you so much, Edward. All right, so as you know, because we've been talking about it, a group of us are going to Hawaii at the end of September, the 22nd through the 29th, to go to the 40th anniversary of the church that Angelica founded there. And so we're gonna have a short informational meeting about it after the service today. So if you're interested in learning more, please hang out. And Burl and Angelica, who have been putting this together, will have more information for us. All right. We have like a full house of practitioners today. So if you would like to talk to somebody after the service, please do. Michelle is here, Reverend Angelica, Edward, Susan, Scott. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. Yeah. All right, cool. So there are a lot. So all of us could gang up on them and get our needs met, I think. So, okay. Our little pantry looks really good right now, but it can always use more. So anyway, if you, next time you go to the grocery store, could get a few things for it, we would love that. All right, so this month's theme is the Great Unpacking. And Scott, of course, has made our slide, which is so fun. And look at how happy this woman looks. Not overwhelmed by all her junk in her house like I am at all. So... Right? Yeah. Yeah. So she said she just moved in. That's why she looks so gleeful. Yeah. All right, so here's our next song.
Well, we did not rehearse this one, so help me out. We know how it goes. We're going to calm it on down here and prepare for the next part of what's going on with us.
Now's the time for our moment of peace, which is, if you're new, it's a short reading and then a moment of silence where you can go within, and then Jackson will lead us into the main part of the service. So if you just relax into your seat, I have a short quote by Adaya Shanti, who is a Buddhist teacher, and he's written a number of books, and this one comes from one called Resurrecting Jesus, which is really good. And so I got this out of that book. So he's talking about healing stories of Jesus, and he says that it points to an inner healing, a coming into rightness and reorienting ourselves to divine being. And so one way to do this, of course, is through stillness and meditation. And he's talking about that center point within us is the kingdom of heaven, and it's a place where everything is eternally and always okay. When we reorder ourselves toward being in that divine being place, we discover a place inside of ourselves that the relative world of time never touches. It is always okay. It is more than okay. It is radiantly happy.
Spirit unfolds me, tenderly holds me. Spirit and I are one, walking together now and forever. Spirit and I are one. I am the light and I am the source. I live in integrity. I am the love and love is the way. Spirit and I are one.
And we are one with Spirit. Spirit leads with love, and within us, in that divine place, that secret place of the Most High, we are at one with everything, and that eternal energy fills us with life, with love, with peace, and with perfect health. And I know this morning as we gather together, that energy is magnified, and that the words we hear today from Reverend Angelica will be the right and perfect words that we need to hear. And I know that with love, this service unfolds in its right and perfect way. And so it is.
I am the light and I am the source. I live in integrity.
And now I welcome to the podium Reverend Angelica.
Is our flag still out there? Out in the hallways. Should be right outside that door. And if it is, and if you could handle it, Rick, will you bring it in here? It's not there? In case you don't know it, June 14th is Flag Day, which gave me some inspiration for this morning. So good morning, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Put it up here.
It's my country and I'm taking it back. Boy, you follow instructions well.
Definitely. Uh-oh. Yeah, maybe I'm... Poor thing has felt lonely out there, I suppose. So it's not standing up. It's not strong anymore. Ooh, I don't know if I want... That was not a good thing. However, so as I said, today is Flag Day, and today I'm talking about unpacking patriotism. And as I started thinking about this topic, I discovered that I was unpacking my own relationship with our country, with this moment in history, and of course, with my own consciousness. And so what I know is that for many of us, the past few years have brought challenges that we never expected. We have watched political division deepen, wars continue, and fear spread through news feeds, and conversations. Somewhere along the way, I realized that fear had taken up more room in my suitcase than I wanted it to. And I think that that's true for a lot of us. One thing that I've noticed lately is that people are falling and breaking bones. People are feeling ill. People are having problems with family, with loved ones. There's all kinds of stuff happening in this collective consciousness, and I believe, as I've said Sundays before, that this is coming from a place of fear, and we're being fed fear constantly. I mean, we were before all this political stuff happened. I mean, have you ever stopped and watched regular TV and counted the number of pharmaceutical advertisements there are? Or, you know, weight loss, or any of these things that are constantly telling us that we're not okay, and yet we are. And so today I want us to unpack not only patriotism, but also what we're carrying in the name of patriotism. You know, I had this weird thing happen. Right in the middle of the word patriotism is the word riot. P-A-T-R-I-O-T-I-S-M. And that just kept striking me, you know, this idea. But yet our whole country was built on a riot, basically. You know, we were English people tired of the rules of the king and all the different things that were going on, and, you know, jumped on massive ships and came over to this big island in the middle of the ocean and, you know, started life here all over. And boy, that must have taken a lot of courage to be able to leave everything and move. I've done that at least 3 times. From, well, maybe more than that, actually, from Los Angeles to Hawaii, from Hawaii to Canada, from Canada to Baltimore, which is a country of its own, and Baltimore to Eureka. I'm not doing it again, however. So I started thinking about this flag, and I thought, you know, this is a few different colors of fabric, right? It's a piece of cloth. And we grew up as little kids with the Betsy Ross story, right? Most of us grew up with the story that George Washington and some of his leaders of the Revolution went to Betsy Ross because they heard that she was making flags, and they decided, you know, they asked her to create our flag. And historians now, though, say that that's just a legend. They're saying that she did certainly make flags. She made a lot of different flags. And, you know, I went online and looked her up, and, you know, she was really, she was a Quaker, which I thought was really interesting. And she sewed a lot of flags. She met and married a man who wasn't a Quaker, but he was an upholsterer, so he also did sewing. But her parents got rid of her because, you know, they abandoned her because she was no longer a Quaker. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But when I looked at this whole idea about this legend, so to speak, it said that, I felt that America chose to remember not only generals and presidents, but also a woman with a needle and thread. And it doesn't matter whether she made the first flag or not. The story remains that nations are not built by those that are only in power. One of the things that they said in this thing I read about Betsy Ross was that whoever asked her to make this flag, whether it was, you know, the first one or not, they had a 6-pointed star. That was their design, a 6-pointed star and 13 stripes. And she said, oh no. And she folded up a piece of fabric, made one snip across it, opened it up, and it was a 5-pointed star. So because it was going to be easier, they adopted a 5-pointed star, which I thought was kind of trippy. So one of the things that I realized is that our country is not just built on or built by generals and presidents and all this stuff, but it's by ordinary people who are willing to step out and stitch something together or do some sort of work. So Flag Day is celebrated on June 14th because on June 14th, 1777, the Continental Congress adopted the first official flag of the United States. Yet it didn't become a national observance until much later. And I figured maybe that's because people discovered that a flag is only a piece of cloth or many pieces of cloth sewn together with some fringe on it until it's only a piece of cloth until we pour our ideas, our hopes, and our dreams into it. So the question is then, what are we pouring into this symbol today? I've told you before that my neighbor down the street put out a flag, and I went, oh no, a MAGA person. Now, I'm sorry if anybody in here is a MAGA person, but, you know, it made me feel weird. And as I was walking the rest of the way home, I'm going, why? Why did that do that? Why did I choose to think that the flag had been hijacked? And so that made me start thinking about patriotism or nationalism. And so there's a difference between these two. Patriotism says, I love my country enough to help it become its highest self. Nationalism says, my country is right because it's mine. Patriotism can ask questions, seek justice, acknowledge mistakes, and protest. Patriotism can challenge a nation to live up to its own ideas. So I started thinking about this flag, even more than that. I mean, I walk a little bit every day, and that's where I do all my thinking, and or part of it anyway. But I started getting mental images because, see, I look Mondays to see what my talk is, what title I gave my talk for the next Sunday, and then I start thinking about it all week. And so I thought about it, this flag, and what it's flown over. And I thought, it's flown over abolitionists and slaveholders. It's flown over suffragists demanding the right to vote and those who oppose them. It's flown over immigrants arriving with hope in their hearts. It's flown over soldiers leaving for war and peace activists marching against it. It's flown over moments of tremendous courage and moments of profound fear. It's flown over some of our nation's finest hours and some of its worst. The flag doesn't belong to any administration. I had to keep reminding myself of that. It does not belong to any political party. It belongs to the ongoing story of people who are still learning how to live their highest ideals. I read this thing on Facebook the other day about this man who decided to wear a MAGA hat all day long and see what that felt like. He wasn't MAGA. But he had people that gave him a thumbs up and, smiled real big at him and all of that. And he had people, even people he knew really well, step back from him. Like there was something, awful about it. And it was interesting to me and for this man to go through this experience, because we've been taught right now that we have to choose a side. We've been taught that we have to pick who we think is right and who is wrong, who belongs and who doesn't. This brings us into another possibility. It brings me into it. I only do this for me, right? So what I realized was I was getting dragged into this collective consciousness, one that I am working on healing and asking you to help me work on healing the collective every single Sunday. And what I know is that spiritual practice invites us into another possibility. And it reminded me that, the name just flew out of my head. Michael Beckwith, Dr. Michael Beckwith from the big church in Los Angeles, he said that the news is a call for prayer. So when I'm looking at the news, as I start to feel, I've noticed that I start to feel my body tighten up. I start to feel my jaw tighten up. I start to feel myself go into a place that I don't want to be. And so I remind myself, I even wrote a note on my coffee table that says, the news is a call for prayer. Which means I can't let myself get sucked into it, and that I have to do everything that I possibly can to move out of the fear space. I have to, and we have to, stand fully in our values without making enemies of one another. I realize that I can disagree with someone without dehumanizing them. I know that we can hold strong convictions while remaining compassionate. And I also realize that healing division begins when we remember that every person is more than a political label. Every person is an expression of the one life. What I also know is that as I have gone through this, particularly last year or so, hearing the daily barrage of something that doesn't work, something that is totally against everything I believe in, like taking children away from parents and cutting off the opportunities for school and school lunches and, all these kind of things, all the different things that have happened. What I realized is that I can still stand for the truth, that every person is an expression of this one life. So you saw the monthly theme, the Great Unpacking. You saw the picture of it. And I imagined this great unpacking and the consciousness of patriotism and as a suitcase that we're handing from one generation to the next. So each generation gets it, they add something to it, they take something out of it. So the question then becomes, what are we unpacking for the people that are going to follow us? Hopefully, we're going to unpack fear, resentment, suspicion, anger. And what are we going to replace it with? Compassion, justice, curiosity, inclusion, hope. As I get older and older, I think about that. What am I leaving? What is this generation leaving for those that are to come? So as I said before, I realized I've been carrying more fear than I want to be. And what I realized is it's a really bad traveling companion. It exhausts us. Think about that for a moment. How many of you feel exhausted? You hardly do anything. I mean, I did one household chore yesterday, and I felt exhausted afterwards. And I thought, wow, what is this all about? And what I know is that in this collective consciousness that's full of fear, that it narrows our vision. It makes us forget who we are. Fear imagines the worst future. So I have to change that constantly in myself and help everyone around me change it as well, because I want us to move from fear into faith. Faith participates in creating a more positive future. Dr. Holmes said, "We are not bound by the conditions around us. We are bound by the thoughts that we accept about them." Okay. So I look at this flag, and I no longer feel like it's something that's been hijacked. It's a symbol of a country where every time I've gone to Europe or any place I've been to, and they find out that I'm American, they've said, "Oh, wow, I want to visit there." It's been a light. And we can have it be that again. We have to do our own work. And you might think, as I sometimes think, even after being a minister for this long, what is changing my little consciousness really going to do to the whole? Well, let's jump into quantum physics for a moment. In quantum physics, there's just energy. There's just energy. There's no bodies or chairs or floors or anything like that. There's just energy. All of this that we see and experience around us comes from our minds. We create it. So what do you want to create? I have to ask myself that over and over again. What do I want to create? As I'm, Wait, do I want to create anger? Do I want to create more fear, more resentment? No, I want to create compassion, courage, wisdom, and hope. And the wonderful thing about that as I've been working on this month, I've heard so many good stories about people that did things for other people or did things for animals or whatever it might have been. But I'm moving, I recognize now that I'm attracting more of that than I was attracting the other. So this is what I know for us today. The future is something we are packing right now. So let's unpack fear, division, and resentment, and carry forward with us compassion, courage, wisdom, and hope. And I know that what we're planning to do is leave future generations not merely a nation to inherit, but a vision that's worthy of their inheritance. A vision that I used to hear about when I traveled. I'm knowing that that's still the truth, because I'm remembering that the future is something we're packing in that suitcase right now. This is the suitcase, the mind. Somebody told me one time that they really liked religious science because it was such an easy religion. Ha 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 ha. It is easy when it's working, isn't it? But when stuff is happening, like we've seen happening for almost a year or over a year, more than that actually, it's hard. But yet we've got the energy to do it. All we have to remember is that everything is spirit. It's divine energy that we're working with. So let's do that together. The future's not something that we're waiting for, in truth. It's something that we're living right now, creating right now. And so our affirmation for you this week is today I choose to unpack fear and make room again for love. Today I choose to unpack fear and make room again for love. And I will put that in the Monday newsletter so you remember it. So let's go into prayer, treatment. I recognize that there is only one power, one life, one mind, and that is divine energy, divine mind, divine life. There's only the one. And each one of us is an emanation of that one. And so we celebrate that. And we choose to pay attention to the part of it that we realize is love, unconditional love. And as we move about our days this week, I know for each one of us that we let go of fear. When we realize we're sitting in it or standing in it, we take a deep breath and we remember the truth of our being. And we choose to have that truth be one of love, absolute love. Regardless of what is said or who it is or any of those things, love is stronger than all of it. And I also see now that as we go into these coming weeks when we celebrate our country's birthday and when there's going to be flags everywhere, we allow ourselves to look at this piece of cloth and imbue it with the ideas of freedom, with the ideas of communication, celebration, with whatever it is that we want to experience as personally living, as communal living, collective living. We celebrate this idea that was created so long ago out of pieces of cloth. And we recognize that each one of us carries this flag within us, whether we do physically or not, because it's about freedom. It's about unity. And so we let go. We let go of fear, and we allow ourselves to be fully present. Fully present. Allowing ourselves to be the vehicle for divine love to move throughout the world, throughout our country, our city, ourselves. And as we do this, the whole universe says yes. So we give thanks for this. We give thanks for this teaching, for knowing that it is done unto us as we believe, as Jesus said. Knowing that as we move along this journey of life, we can do so in peace and in joy. So I give thanks for these things. I release this word into divine mind, knowing that it is so, and so it is. Thank you for the music, Jackson, behind the words. And our musician gift of music this morning is coming from Anna. So let's welcome her up here.
Who's doing sound today? Thank you very much, and that was great, fantastic. Rolling. Okie dokie. Well, the first thing I want to do is say, please come to the Humboldt Botanical Gardens Sunday, 1 to 3, June 28th, the last Sunday of the month, where my trio, The Situation, will regale you with groovy music while you smell the roses. Like that, but we're not going to do that today. It's Flag Day, but it's Pride Month. Whoopee! Yes, that shows you our priorities. So I chose a song I wrote in 1981. I don't think it was probably the last time I sang it. We need a song to sing, to make the bells ring, so let's sing so high, way all up to the sky. Yeah, raise your voice so you can be heard. The world is waiting for the sound of the word freedom. Live your own life. Freedom without being judged wrong or right. Freedom, live your own way. Freedom, freedom to be straight or gay. La 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 la. Feeling much better now, now that the truth is out. We can't stop to live and be past forgive. Yeah, with so much to say, It's pleasure and pain. Let's love one another's just like sisters and brothers in freedom. Live your own life. Freedom without being judged wrong or right. Straight or gay, la 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 la. I hope I don't offend, but if I do, you will mend. A little humor will heal and change what you feel into something that's nice. It's just like a spice. You get next to me, in time you will see. Freedom, live your own life. Freedom, without being judged wrong or right. Freedom, oh, live your own way. Freedom to be straight or bi or trans or gay or whatever it is. La 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 la. Just one more thing to say. I love being gay. Yeah, it's just right for me. It's all that I need. No, I'm not incomplete. I'm part of a plan. It's woman for woman and man for man. In freedom, live your own life. Freedom without being judged wrong or right. La 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 la. Freedom, live your own way. Freedom to be straight or gay. La 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 la.
Thanks so much, Anna. What a great song. All right, now we're going to share our gifts, if you'll join me. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. thank you so much for these gifts that are received by our center today. And don't just enrich our community, but enrich those beyond our small place. And thank you for the joy and the fullness with which they are given. And so it is. So it is. Thank you both. All right, is there someone who would be willing to read our community statement of inclusion? Yay, thank you.
Community Statement of Inclusion. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fastens inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies, honors the unique emanation, and advocates with people for the human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. We are a community
Love each other well. Thank you. All right, so if you will join a circle, then we will close out today with the peace song.
Well,
Piece of cake. Okay, everybody, we're swinging in the same direction this time. Laugh. Last time was
everybody hold hands.
Thank you.